Here's how you can use SynthEyes to refine the tracking data from the virtual production app Jetset. I was going to show you this process using this shot from this episode where we see BJ's feet on the floor, but Jetset tracked it perfectly. So I went back to a shot in episode 2 where BJ's feet were definitely slipping. Episode 2, I was still figuring out this whole Jetset workflow, and honestly, I was kind of just scrambling to get the episode done. That was the first real time I've had to animate a 3D character like Bites like this. But now that I've had a few more episodes under my belt, let's go back and refine it. This whole workflow is done by Elliot at Lightcraft, and he has a couple tutorials covering it as well, so if you're still craving more after this walkthrough, check those out. In AutoShot, we're going to choose our takes. Choose an AI matte here as well. This shot was done with the 10mm lens, so there's going to be some distortion of the shot that SynthEyes will be great to help us solve. Run AutoShot, which will then create a folder with your EXR sequence, Rotomat, and Blender project. We have the footage, camera, and mesh from the 3D scan of the set. To bring it into SynthEyes, go back to AutoShot and choose Others. This will generate a bunch of scripts for various software, including SynthEyes, all in the folder structure that AutoShot created. In SynthEyes, go to Script, Run Script, navigate to the script that AutoShot just created, and run it. It imports your shot, camera, and mesh. The mesh is a little offset, so I just slid it over a touch. Elliot has another tutorial of how to do this adjustment more effectively. Turn on Rotomat, which uses the AI matte AutoShot created. Now if you place trackers in SynthEyes, they won't show up on your actor, just the background. And if you've used SynthEyes before, you know half the time you're just deleting all the trackers that auto-populated onto your actor. We'll still need to remove some of the trackers from the boom pole and maybe some of the edges here as well, but this is going to be a huge time saver. Now we're going to run another script that's going to find all the best tracking points, big and small, in our shot. It's created by Matt Merkovich, and there's a link below to download it. Now we have all these trackers, so let's just remove the ones on the boom pole and here on the edges of BJ. Select trackers that are over the mesh, and choose Track, Drop onto Mesh. Then in the Solver tab, click Go. It's already at a 0.7 accuracy, which is great. That means that it is accurate to less than 1 pixel. But we can refine it even more. Hit Shift-C to do this refinement, and you can get rid of high error trackers. Change this dropdown to Refine and click Go again. Now we're at a 0.5, which is great. If you keep repeating this process, you can get the number as small as possible. If you right-click and choose View, Show Track Radar, you can also see some more egregious trackers and delete them. Now we're at a 0.34, which is great. Calculate lens distortion using radial fourth order and go 1 by 1. This got our solve improved by 0.002, not much, but we'll take it. To export it for Blender, you need to run the calculate lens workflow and undistort it. That's going to change our sensor width to an effective sensor width, which we'll need to remember. Export as a Blender Python script. Set the scale to 0.01 because SynthEyes uses centimeters and Blender uses meters. Export, and now we run that script in Blender and append this new camera into your Blender scene. By changing the sensor width of this new camera back to the original width, which in our case was 23.1, you'll see that this is perfectly locked to your footage. The image plane created by AutoShot doesn't align anymore, so you can either just render the background and composite them together, or create a new image plane manually. But with this process, we went from this to this.